Welcome back to You Asked For It. Today's You Asked For It is in response to a Facebook group that I belong to, and we were talking about pit bulls and dog parks. Now obviously I have mixed emotions about that, but generally speaking, I'm against pit bulls going to dog parks. So I had this conversation and correspondence with the person in that group. And for the purpose of anonymity, let's just call him Bob. Jeff, why are you so dead set against pit bulls going to dog parks?
So yes, I take my pit bulls to the dog park. I know everyone heard me say it all the time. I'm not a fan of pit bulls in the dog park, right? But if you notice, there is nobody here, okay? This is when I take my pit bulls to the dog park, right? Because I can control my dogs. I can't control other people's dogs or what other people do or don't do, or the level of behavior, obedience, or reliability other people's dogs have, right? So I don't need to go to the dog park to show people how wonderful my dogs are, okay? I go to the dog park for my dogs, right? Now I have a big yard, but I don't have a yard this big where they can really let loose and sprint all over the place. So yes, I will take my dogs to the dog park, but I do it responsibly, and I make sure that I'm always putting my dogs in a position to succeed. Because if they're in a group of dogs, if something happens, it doesn't matter who started it. It's going to be our fault because we're the ones with the pit bulls. Even if our dogs are defending themselves, it doesn't matter. You know, and you know, they love each other, and you know, I'm here for them. You know, I'm not here to have them be social with 87 other dogs. On top of the fact that most people that go to dog parks, that's their dog's exercise and stimulation for the whole week, right? You know, especially if you go on a weekend. I call them weekend warriors, where their dogs, that's the only time their dogs are getting exercise or stimulation is like on a Saturday or Sunday morning. You know, today is a midweek morning, and it's, you know, obviously everybody's probably at work, I'm guessing, you know, because it's empty here. Now, if a dog or a couple of dogs come and I make a decision that it might be a good fit to have my dogs interact with them, I'll make that decision. But I don't just randomly go to the dog park, and if I do go, there's times where I may not even enter. I may pull up and see that not only are there just a crazy group of dogs in there, but we got owners in there who's smoking a cigarette, who's on their phone, not even paying attention to the dogs.
And wouldn't you know it, as luck would have it, someone pulled up to the dog park when my wife and I were there with Deuce and Sable. And we were really fortunate that this was like a normal dog owner who has common sense and knows her dogs. And she didn't just open the car and let her dogs fly out the car. She actually got out of her car, she came over, and we were talking a little bit about each of our dogs' behaviors and how they would do together. And collectively, we thought it was best that her dogs go into the one side and we keep our dogs on the other side. And she didn't even have pit bulls, but we were both of the same mindset of putting both of our dogs in a position to succeed. And lo and behold, her one dog comes flying out. He's blind, he's a little edgy, and he's just going off on Deuce and Sable.
Happy, it's okay. It's okay. Happy, it's okay.
But by this time, Diana and I already had Deuce and Sable on leash. We put them on leash for when this woman let her dogs out, because you never know, right? And we just wanted to make sure that our dogs were under control and there wasn't any, you know, fence anxiety or fence fighting, especially once we saw and heard her other dog. And this is no knock on the woman or her dogs. In fact, this is a kudos to her for having the common sense, you know, and the wherewithal to get out of her car and talk to us. And, you know, and we chit-chatted because we both wanted the same thing, a really good experience for our dogs at the park. Now, once she brought her dogs in the park, it was really clear that her control over her dogs was minimal at best. So Diana and I decided to get Deuce and Sable on leash, and we left the dog park. Which wasn't a big deal. We were there for a little while anyway. We also had them on a couple of mile walk, so it turned out to be a really nice morning for us. So there was really no need to push the issue. We gave our dogs what they needed for the day. We had a great experience. It was all positive, and the woman that we left behind, she went on to have a wonderful morning as well. So if you're going to go to the dog park, use common sense, use a couple of these guidelines. Don't just rush in there. Gauge the dogs that are currently in the dog park. Also gauge the humans, right? Human behavior is a big component of success at the dog park. So use common sense. We have to put our dogs in a position to succeed. Now granted, I have pit bulls, so this video is a little bit more about pit bulls, but it holds true for any breed, right? Any breed can have a little anxiety or social deficiency to them where a dog park might not be the best place for them. So again, use common sense, use your best judgment. Always put your dog or dogs in positions to succeed. So this is going to be my last You Asked For It video in 2019. So take a peek around my channel if you like what you see and you want to stay up to date on dog training, dog care, dog health, dog rescue, dog whatever. Consider subscribing to my channel. Click that bell so you get notified when I upload new content. And I wish you all a very blessed, happy, safe, and grateful 2020. Thank you for supporting my channel. I hope I am delivering and exceeding your expectations. And I'll see you guys next year on You Asked For It.